Witness the new moon conjoined Acumen and the Galactic Center on the 20th of December 2025 at 1:47 a.m. Little Spirit woke while the estate still slept. The quiet hum of pipes beneath the floor and the slow rise and fall of her breath filling the room. Morning light spilled through the curtains in pale bands, brushing across her duvet as she lifted a hand into the shimmer, watching it tremble across her skin. The warmth moved steadily beneath her fingers, rising in faint currents that seemed to reach towards the edges of the room, brushing against the still air and the slant of light on the walls. As she lay, hand hovering in the effulgence, something dawned with her. Dressing quickly, she stepped into the landing where her father's laughter rose from the kitchen. She saw it permeating the space that he occupied as he spoke to her aunt on the phone. The cadence of his voice full of stories delivered with the ease of someone who trusted the world to listen. Transfixed, she watched him from the doorway. A small trail of the morning slid across his shoulders, giving his tarred jumper a soft gleam. Her father glanced up, saw her, and his smile widened. A pulse of light passed between them, clear as warmth from a cup placed into the waiting hands settling in her chest. Walking to school, a rucksack pressed rhythmically against her spine. The estate held its usual scenes: cars with frost-blurred windows, terraced houses breathing out thin grey air, things lined along the curb, a lonely place by any measure. Yet she saw it there too, tiny glimmers everywhere. In a neighbour's wave, in the shared shuffle of children heading towards the gates, the steady rustle of pigeons settling on the lampposts. At the corner, she paused. A man crouched beside his dog, fastening a small red harness. He looked up as she passed, a flicker drift between them, fleeting and gentle, and there it was again. Inside the classroom, the day unfolded as at usual pace. Virus scratched across worksheets, chairs scraped lightly across the floor, and the girl beside her leaned, half sharing a whispered joke, and again she thought. During lunch, she sat beneath the tall sycamore behind the playground. Sun filtered through the branches, scattering shifting patterns across her trousers. Exhaling slowly, she lifted her gaze and observed the world as if through new eyes. Lads kicking a football, a pair of teachers strolling across the yard, deep in an easy conversation. Light offered, light received. That afternoon on her way home, the sky shifted into a soft silver hue. Clouds stretched wide across the horizon, through sunlight still filtered through patient rays. Passing the local shop, she saw an elderly man lean against the wall, steadying himself before stepping inside. She felt a pull within her, a subtle nudge. As she reached him, she offered a simple greeting. The man raised his head, eyes brightening, their eyes mingling for the briefest moment. Later, in her bedroom, the afternoon fading into the evening, Little Spirit sat at her desk with an open exercise book. She rested her palms on the desk. Images from the day moved through her mind. Her father's smile, the glance from the man with the dog, the laughter beneath the sycamore. Something passed between people, light travelling from gesture to gesture, breath to breath, heart to heart. She sensed it in the way her own spark shifted whenever kindness brushed past her, in the way others brightened when she offered the same. A small breeze drifted through the open window, carrying the warmth of distant footsteps, the hum of low voices, the low rumble of a bus. She felt the pull of their light mingling with her own, the quiet current brushing her chest. Each smile, each glance, each gesture left a shimmer, tiny but insistent, threading through the day. Light travelled, and it reached, answering itself in the moment she could feel it pass. She traced it back with her hand pressed to her heart, and it pulsed there, steady and alive. In watching and feeling and giving, she too shone, her light folding into theirs, folding back into herself, and the room seemed fuller, wider, more awake. Light moves, and when it moves, it carries presence. And this is the living principle of mutable fire, the energy of Sagittarius. Mutable fire pushes through relational space and co-creative exchange, reaching beyond containment yet perceptively present. Its vitality is not conditional upon observation. It's alive, shaping and coloring the space it touches, bending in response to the contours of attention, adapting to the rhythm of recognition, and imperceptibly extends from one being to another, marking every gesture, glance, and breath with subtle resonance. Things flowered between us cannot now be said or written. Rumi describes light as the living breath of the soul, a luminous presence that moves through and beyond the confines of the ordinary. It flows between beings, revealing the hidden currents of recognition, attention, and intimacy that words cannot capture. An energy that shines most fully when witnessed and mirrored, carrying within it the pulse of love and connection. It's both revealing and transformative, awakening consciousness while reflecting the inherent radiance of those who engage with it. The luminous exchanges speak to the ineffable quality of light, its capacity to move, respond, and persist beyond expression, marking the meeting of presence with presence and the unspoken communion of hearts. To witness light through the lens of mutable fire is to participate in its motion, to allow its currents to circulate through oneself and through another, creating an awareness that's both intimate and expansive, private and universal. Light, being conscious, has been demonstrated in the CERN experiments. Unconnected particles respond to one another across distance, responding to each other instantaneously despite spatial separation. The same holds true for the third form of fire, or light. Light is not merely generated or anchored, known as cardinal and fixed respectively. Within the framework of mutability, light is exchanged between two presences, leaving an enduring imprint, subtle yet present, tracing trajectories of connection that unfold across perception even when the exchange appears fleeting. Aligned with the star acumen, whose clarity and resonance guide the precision, circulation, and alignment of light, and the galactic center, concentrated choir of sentient light beings, this forthcoming pre-solstice lunation is a timely reminder of the responsibility we have towards raising the vibration of our world. Your light is exchanged with others. Particles of you remain in them, just as they remain in you. The quality of your light impacts others, and they will retain that within them. The more conscious you are of your light, the more conscious you remember that another's essence is not defined by their physicality, and the more you remember that light carries both awareness and knowledge, the more you can support the conscious growth of others, yourself, and the world at large by what you share with the world. In the days leading up to the union of the lights, what a perfect opportunity you're being offered to renew your relational field by becoming conscious of the subtle currents that flow between yourself and others, and to notice where energy moves freely, where it hesitates, to offer your presence with intention by recognizing that every gesture, every word, every attentive moment contributes to this luminous pattern that you are creating in the world. Remember, by embracing this flow with awareness and intention, you leave a trace of your own radiance in the world, and in return, the world returns a reflection of the light you share.